Hello, awesome 30-day detox group. Oh my goodness, this group, I'm sure you'll agree, has been absolutely amazing since we started it on May the 1st. The information that is being shared, the engagement, the recipes, the support, the encouragement is just completely blowing my mind. So I'm so excited that, first of all, that you're here. And if you're watching this video, that means you're engaged enough to click play. So yes, that's great. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dawn Andrews, and I'm many, many things. First of all, I'm a wife, mama to 5 kids. I am a cancer thriver. I am a Plexus Emerald ambassador. I am lots and lots of things, like many of you, right? So I just say, but I'm Dawn Andrews, and most of all, just really I love God, I love people, and I'm really, really committed to sharing what I know through what I have learned through my cancer healing journey, which I'm going to share with you guys in a minute, and helping others to really take control of their health so you too can be the very best version of yourself. So let me rewind a little bit and share my story, how I got to this place. Back in 2014, when I was 39 years old, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. My original diagnosis was kind of a stage 2, but serious, aggressive, being my age. I chose, through not knowing anything different, to go through the traditional treatment. So I signed up for chemo, for radiation, for surgery, and didn't make a whole lot of other changes except doing the things that were recommended to me in order to get my cancer in remission. I followed that up with, maintenance drugs. It was an estrogen blockers, removing of my ovaries. So I went through a lot of surgeries and treatment in order to keep cancer at bay. Unfortunately, in June of 2016, my cancer came back. So I wasn't even a couple of years out, and there it was staring me in the face again, and I got upgraded to the dreaded metastatic cancer. So as you can imagine, that was quite devastating. But I will tell you, through a lot of prayer, a lot of tears, and a lot of hell, I'll be honest with you, I came to a place where God really put it on my heart to really explore health and wellness in a whole new way, to look at this thing with brand new eyes. And I will tell you, it has been honestly probably the most amazing journey, a journey that started for me last June, so I'm coming up on a year of really digging in and understanding the body, and nutrition and diet and all of these things that contribute to disease and all of these things that can prevent disease and ultimately what I believe will heal my body are really important, and they're things not to be overlooked. And so that's why I'm sharing with you today. And so I'm so proud of you for taking one of the very, very first steps that I learned that I had to take in my life in order to take back my health, to take control over the cancer that was unfortunately moving and grooving in my body, and to turn the ship around. And that's what I've been working to do for the last year. So here's one thing I want you to first of all tell you, that our bodies, this was huge for me when I really got this, our bodies were designed by God to constantly be getting better. That's our body's full-time job, is to heal us, okay? Constantly working. Our organs are working, our body is working constantly to detoxify things that we put in our body, to the best example there is when you cut your finger, immediately the blood rushes, you start to bleed, the white blood cells or red blood cells shut it down, close it up. If it's and oftentimes skin is formed over, it could be a scab. It's our body's way of having a band-aid. Well, underneath that band-aid, our body's rushing to make that thing better, right? Wounds are healed, right? So that's just a really good example. So really remember that always, that our bodies want us to be perfect. Our bodies want to be optimal. But here's what happens. We have 2 things that we control. We control our minds, the way we think about this, and we also control what goes in our bodies. And the things that we put in our body either going to give us life, honestly, or they're going to give us the opposite, which is death. And as you probably have started to understand and be aware of, sugar is the opposite of life. The things that give life to us are the things that we find that are grown in the garden, right? The plants, the vegetables, the fruits, the whole foods that we put into our body. Those things the sunlight, which is pure vitamin D, which is pure life. It's captured in the fruits and vegetables that are in the world around us. Even grains, any kind of whole foods are okay. And then we eat those things, and then they're released into our body, and that actually fills our cells. There's actually science to kind of back this up. Fills our cells with goodness and light and helps our bodies to be super healthy, right? And our cells, because just a real quick, cancer itself is a problem with cell reproduction. Okay, you probably already know that, but maybe not. So you have healthy cells, you have cancer cells. The healthy cells are overpowered by the cancer cells. They can't see them, and cancer cells start to reproduce, and then tumors are formed. And so we want healthy cells. It's probably the most important thing that we can do for our body is to fill our body with light and to have healthy, strong cells so we can prevent disease, all kinds of disease. Because remember, we're a whole body. Autoimmune diseases and cancer and diabetes and even like ADHD and all these things honestly are very, very linked. And so we're a whole body, right? So when we have healthy cells, it's good. Okay. So here we go. So sugar, not good. It's the opposite. When we put sugar in our body, especially processed sugar, we've learned that it comes in all forms, in corn syrups and rice syrups and, all kinds of sticky, yucky stuff. And there's all kinds of hidden names for it. It goes into our body, and it's death and it's darkness, and it causes our bodies to feel bad. One of the most disturbing things I think I've learned through all of this is sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Yes, it's true. It's a highly addictive substance. If you were, eating a lot of sugar prior to this detox and you've stayed committed to it, you might be really feeling the effects of that. You're feeling withdrawal. You're feeling yucky. You're feeling tired. It's just like a drug addiction where you've got to push through the withdrawals to get to the other side to really go clean and healthy. So I want to share with you, when I went on my healing journey, which I am on now, I have kind of pushed aside all of the stuff that didn't work for me before, and gone on a journey to say, okay, how can I think to get better? What can I put in my body to get better? And so the very first thing that I had to cut out was sugar. Period. Because here's the deal also. Maybe you know this, maybe you don't. Cancer has first of all cells need a form of glucose. The body needs glucose to have energy. Okay. So, but what happens is cancer cells are kind of, they're kind of like, they're not as structured as a healthy cell. And so they require a different kind of substance in order to have energy. And it just so happens that what they need and what they require to keep moving and grooving is what is found in processed refined sugar. So cancer cells actually feed on sugar. So if someone, is a cancer patient, is going through chemo and going through all of this stuff, and they're not understanding that the ice cream that they're eating or the muffins that they're eating or all of their diet, if they're not understanding that, then it's almost a counteractive, because as you're trying to kill cancer, you're feeding it all at the same time. And I think there's a huge lack of information out there. And so it's very important to understand this and be educated that, somebody that's going through treatment can actually help themselves just by cutting the sugar. So what does that mean for you though, right? Because you don't have cancer, you don't have disease, but how important is that to you? It is very important, because not only, now there's lots of factors that will ultimately cause someone to get cancer. They're emotional, there's stress factors, there's huge environmental factors, there's toxins, but diet and nutrition and sugar are definitely a contributor to disease. Oftentimes, precursors to something as serious as cancer can be an autoimmune disease. They're actually linking to show, women who have thyroid imbalances. That's a hormonal problem. There's something going on. The body's out of balance. The body's out of whack. A lot of times that can lead and progress into something like breast cancer. So all of that stuff is very connected. So what that means for you is it's very, very important. Like it's not just kind of a fun thing to do to say, hey, I'm going to clean up my diet for 30 days and get off the sugar and then after 30 days be like, whew, that was tough. I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore and go fall right back into our old ways, right? No, what we want and what my heart's desire is for you is to really see this as an opportunity to make a lifestyle change that can honestly change your life forever. And as you look down the road, prevent disease, right? As you start to feel better and you start to get clean and you start to have more energy and to really get off and not have all those sugar cravings and be, a prisoner to those addictions, because it really is. Sugar cravings are you're in prison with that, just like someone's in prison with a drug addiction or an alcohol addiction or a cigarette, addiction. So you want to break free of that and then live the rest of your life in such a way where you're feeding your body good stuff, the whole stuff, the green stuff of the world, so you can prevent disease. Do it for your kids. Do it for your husband. Do it for your elderly parents that you need to be around for, and do it as an example. And I think that's really huge, because we all know, most of us probably have kids. I know probably most of the people watching this are moms, maybe young mom, old, whatever, I'll kind of speak to that. When our kids start to see us making changes and making better choices, our actions speak way louder than our words. If we really want to teach our kids about how to live in a way for the rest of their lives that will help them be the best version of themselves and to prevent diseases in their future, we start now with being an awesome example. I just want to give a quick example. My little guy, he's 6 years old, and he's probably, I have 5 kids, out of everybody in my family, all my kids, he's the most challenging for his eating. He loves hamburgers, he loves French fries, he loves chicken nuggets, he wants to have a hot dog. I think the first time I gave him a banana, he was like 4, he like vomited, right? He didn't like the squish of the grapes in his mouth. Like, it's been a huge challenge. But I will tell you, and this is just yesterday, we've made improvements. Does he still love all those things? Yes. But we're slowly trying to introduce, hey buddy, try a blueberry. 1 blueberry. That's all we're asking. Eat a blueberry. Buddy, let's try a grape. Let's cut the grape in half. Let's do it. And we make a little bit of a game out of it. But so there's that going on. But he tells me yesterday, he says, Mom, he said, I was at Nanny and Granddad's the other day, and Granddaddy was drinking a Pepsi, and I told Granddaddy that he should not drink that he really should be drinking water, because water is good for you and Pepsi's not good for you. Now, if my girls had said that, okay, no biggie, because they get it. They're a little more on the health. But for Elliot, my little 6-year-old boy, who's been the biggest challenge in the world to kind of turn over this new leaf of understanding the importance of health and wellness and nutrition, for him to say that to me was like, oh, wow, he has been catching it. Even though he gives me resistance, even though it's a challenge, more is caught than taught. And so our actions speak louder than words. So I want to really encourage you all to take this detox seriously. Take it seriously, because you can be an excellent example to the people in your lives that you really love and that you care about, right? We would do anything for our children. We would lay down our lives for our kids. And this is part of that, really understanding the importance and how bad sugar is. And unfortunately, we are being bombarded with it from our food industry and in the things that are deemed cute and fun for kids, fruit snacks and roll-ups and juice boxes and all the huge cookies on the shelves that are fun to pack in snacks and the kids love them. But man, they truly are putting death into our children. And so if we would lay down our lives and do anything for our kids, then we need to lay down our life and do anything for our kids. And that means staying committed to a sugar detox, to a life saying no. And so, for me, it is a matter of life and death. I'll be honest with you. And so in a way, that's probably easier, because I know when I'm challenged with a cookie or challenged with a piece of birthday cake or anything like that, it's just not even an option, because I want to live for my family. I want to survive a metastatic cancer diagnosis. And I know from my own journey, my walk, my research, my education, my doctor who educates me. I hope you saw that interview that he did. I'm hoping to do more of those kinds of things, Dr. McDonald, that the very first thing that has to be foremost is absolutely not having sugar of any kind in my diet. And that kind of goes along. You have to also remember carbs and breads and muffins and those kinds of things, lots of hidden sugars. So it's not, you know, we're kind of taking baby steps here with saying no to refined sugar, but you also kind of want to shift a little bit. And as you get good at saying no to the refined sugar and the obvious things that have sugar in them, like cookies and cakes and all that, you know, saying no to more of the breads and the things that are filled there. So, my journey has made me super passionate about sugar and sugar detox. And so I'm so proud of Amy and Tracy for starting this group. What we all have in common is we're Plexus ambassadors. We are the health and happiness company. And so they said, we want to do this, and we don't want to do this necessarily for purposes of promoting Plexus, but we really want to do this because we love people and we want them healthy. And that's who we are, and that's who we represent. And so I just love it. And so we're super excited to have you in this challenge, to continue educating you. You know, as far as the Plexus is concerned, I actually brought these out. I am always kind of double-fisted. I've always got my Plexus pink drink. I was getting ready to drink this stuff, and I was like, I'll do my video and show them I get double-fisted, and then I do a green juice. So these are like my two healthy staples that are always a daily part of my, what I call my healing journey, because it truly is. These things matter. You know, what's in here is excellent nutritional value and actually helps curb sugar cravings, helps level blood sugar. That's huge. This is straight kale, apple. I think there's some carrot, a little bit of carrot in there. So, you know, getting that injection of fruits and the things that are alive. So you put things that are alive, like I said, into your body, and you're living. You put death into your body and you're not. Okay, so that is all I've got. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching this, and let's continue rocking out the sugar detox for the next 2.5 weeks. Bye, guys.